You think the universe just left you there, to rot, to bleed out in the silence? You really sat in that dark room and dared to believe the lie that the universe had forgotten about you, that it walked away when they did. How dare you think like that? How dare you disrespect the power that chose you, the force that moved mountains behind your back just to pull you out of their reach? While everyone else was walking out, ghosting you, betraying you, mocking your pain, do you know who was still there? The universe. It wasn't quiet because it forgot you. It was quiet because it was moving, rearranging, tearing down the illusions, kicking the parasites out. You called it abandonment. It was rescue. You thought being chosen meant love, applause, soft landings, and constant support. Hell no. Being chosen means you get targeted, you get isolated, you get ripped out of the crowd and placed in a furnace to be forged. While you sat there crying about being alone, the universe was cleansing your space of the energy leeches who were never supposed to come with you. The ones who fed off your glow, worshipped your wounds, and called it love. You didn't lose them, they were removed. Your soul is not some charity buffet for the broken. Your energy is not free refills for people who never pour back. The universe didn't leave you to die. It made sure you would finally live. And living as a chosen one. That means learning that the light in you is so rare, so disruptive, that darkness has no choice but to attack it. And when it does, the universe goes to war for you, silently, strategically, brutally. So stop insulting your purpose with that self-pity. Stop asking why no one stayed. They weren't built to stay. They weren't qualified to stand next to the version of you the universe was building. You don't hand a diamond to people who only know how to play with glass. And you don't question the silence while the universe is at work. Let me tell you something. That collapse you went through, that wasn't a breakdown. That was your real self waking up. And when that happens, people flee. Because your clarity is blinding. Your energy is expensive now. And the ones who used to feed on your light, they're starving in your absence. But let me guess, you're still sitting there wondering if you did something wrong. If you're too much, too intense, too different. No, you're exactly right. You're too chosen to be common, too aligned to be manipulated, too damn powerful to be tolerated by the weak. So hear me when I say this. The universe never left you. It protected you. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. And now it's your turn to rise without mercy. If you're feeling this in your bones, not just hearing it, but knowing it, then like this video, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments. Not for me, for the others like you who need to find this message. Every click, every share, every word spreads the signal further, pulls another chosen one out of the lie that they're alone. Because they're not. You never were. The universe was just getting started. Now, let's get into it. And this time, no more forgetting who you are. Number 1. The great abandonment was the great alignment. They didn't walk away because you were weak. They walked away because they saw what was about to rise, and they knew they'd be too small to stand beside it. Let's make this real. You weren't abandoned, you were delivered. The exit of those people, it wasn't rejection, it was the universe yanking dead weight off your path. That heartbreak, strategic, that betrayal, precision. You didn't lose people. The universe evicted what couldn't go where you were being sent. Let's stop sugarcoating it. They left because your evolution would have made their masks slip. They felt it, that shift in your energy, that sharp edge in your silence, that inner knowing you hadn't even spoken out loud yet. They felt it before you did. And what do people who live off your doubt do when you start realizing who you are? They run, or worse, they attack. And here's the kicker. You begged for some of them to stay, didn't you? You questioned yourself, wondered what you did wrong, replayed the memories looking for clues. But the truth is, you did everything right. That's why it hurt so bad. You outgrew people who never intended to grow with you, and instead of admitting that, they flipped the script to make you feel like you were the problem. Classic move from those who fear your potential more than they ever valued your presence. Let me tell you something about chosen ones. They don't blend in. They don't coast. They don't people-please their way into purpose. They disrupt. They shake the room. And most of all, they trigger everyone who has built their entire personality around staying small. Your abandonment wasn't abandonment. It was the spotlight finally focusing where it needed to. The stage was being cleared for you, and they couldn't handle that kind of exposure. The universe saw their envy, their secret resentment, the way they flinched when you talked about your dreams. You thought it was love, but they were low-key competing. You thought they were proud of you, but they were studying you, mimicking you, draining you. And the universe, it doesn't play with its chosen, so it removed them. You want proof? Look at any icon who ever shifted the world. Beyoncé was left out of Destiny's Child meetings. Kobe Bryant was isolated in the locker room. Elon Musk was bullied. Oprah was told she was too emotional for television. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. The pattern is always the same: isolation before elevation. The great abandonment is the great alignment, because when you're chosen, the universe will take everything away before it gives you what's truly yours. You're not cursed. You're being custom built. You may be wondering, why does it hurt so bad if it was meant for me? Because surgery hurts, even when it saves your life. The pain of being ripped away from people, places, and patterns you thought were safe isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to wake you up, to force you into discomfort so sharp you finally stop negotiating with versions of yourself that were designed to keep others comfortable. Let them be uncomfortable. That's not your business anymore. You were not meant to dim your frequency to match someone else's low vibration. You were born to outgrow circles, to make people either level up or exit. And they chose the exit. That's on them. Your only job now is to keep moving. Let's talk metaphor. Imagine a rocket at launch. The boosters carry it partway into the sky, but once it reaches a certain altitude, those boosters, they fall off. Not because they were useless, but because they were never meant to go all the way. That's what they were. Boosters, temporary engines, good for where you were, but dead weight for where you're going. You were mourning pieces of the journey that weren't meant to make it to the destination. But now that the sky is clear, you can finally take off. And that terrifies them, because here's what they never expected: that you'd keep rising, that you'd get stronger in silence, that you'd build in solitude, that your peace would turn into power. They thought their absence would break you. But what they never saw coming was you discovering who you were without them. Now they have to sit in it, watch from a distance, pretend not to care while they check on you in secret, tell others you changed, when really you leveled up and just stopped giving them access. Your glow is brighter now because it's no longer being filtered through their expectations. You want something harder? Okay, stop waiting for an apology that's never coming. They won't own it. They won't admit they left you when you needed them most. They won't tell the truth about how they whispered about you while smiling in your face. They'll pretend like you switched up, when in reality, you woke up. You owe them nothing, not a second glance, not an ounce of closure, not one more drop of your precious light. The universe didn't punish you, it prioritized you. And if you don't see that yet, read this again until it clicks. You're not here to chase what left. You're here to rise from what tried to bury you. So stand up. Stop waiting. The great abandonment wasn't your fall. It was the signal that your rise has begun. And the only thing left to do now is own it like the force of nature you are. Because they didn't leave you behind. They just weren't allowed to go where you're headed. And now, you're unstoppable. Number 2. You weren't rejected. You were redirected. You really thought they walked away because you weren't enough? You sat there crying, tearing yourself apart, asking what was wrong with you, when the truth is, nothing was wrong with you. The only thing that was broken was the lie that you had to be smaller to be loved. That rejection you took so personally, that wasn't about your worth. That was the universe grabbing you by the collar and yanking you out of the trap before it could devour what's divine inside you. So let's get this straight. You weren't rejected. You were rerouted, repositioned, redirected with force because subtle signs didn't work anymore. The red flags you ignored, the gut feelings you silenced, the patterns you let repeat. The universe saw all of it. And when it realized you weren't going to walk away on your own, it did what had to be done. It removed what you were still willing to settle for. And you called it pain. You called it heartbreak. You called it failure. But it was none of that. It was divine intervention in disguise. Let's go deeper. Rejection, especially for the chosen, doesn't hit soft. It hits surgical, precise, sharp. You don't get gently moved. You get cut off cold. Because the longer you stay in rooms you've outgrown, the more your soul begins to shrink to fit. And the universe, it's not interested in you fitting in. It's interested in you becoming. So if it has to let you be ripped out of the fake friendships, one-sided love, toxic family roles, or draining spaces to do it, it will. You want proof? Go ahead and look at every major shift in your life. Every time you were dropped, ghosted, betrayed, or exiled. What came next? A deeper version of you. A sharper awareness. A stronger walk. Every single time someone rejected you, what followed was reconstruction. So how many more signs do you need to stop calling it punishment? You are a chosen one. That means you don't get to walk the easy road. You don't get to coast on comfort and call it alignment. No, you're being built for something real, something rare, something heavy, and that requires sacrifice. The lie is that you weren't wanted. The truth? You were too chosen to be used like that again. But here's where I scold you. Stop mistaking that pain as proof you're unworthy. Stop replaying the moment they left as if that defines your value. How dare you let their inability to recognize your light convince you that the light isn't real? How dare you question your path because someone who was never meant to go with you decided to get off early? They didn't reject you. They rejected the reflection you forced them to see. You were a mirror, and what they saw? Unhealed wounds, insecurity, inauthenticity, So instead of leveling up, they blamed the mirror, broke it, walked away. But their exit didn't mean you weren't powerful. It meant you were too real to tolerate. You've been blaming yourself for too long. If I was just a little less intense, if I didn't say that, if I had tried harder, enough. You didn't lose them. They lost access to something divine, something the universe was never going to let them keep. You're not for everyone, and you're not supposed to be. The ones who can't hold your energy were never meant to walk in your destiny. Stop grieving closed doors. They closed for a reason. Stop knocking on them like you forgot who locked them in the first place. It wasn't you. It wasn't them. It was the universe. And it did it because it still believes in you, even when you didn't. This pain, it's not the end. It's a beginning. Rejection didn't destroy you. It delivered you. Delivered you back to yourself, back to the version of you that doesn't beg for belonging, that doesn't settle for crumbs, that doesn't shrink to avoid loneliness. The one that knows, if you were redirected, then the original path was never real alignment in the first place. So now it's time to stop romanticizing what broke you. Stop longing for what never deserved your presence. You are not a failure. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned for the exact place your spirit has always been destined to occupy. Say it to yourself. That rejection wasn't rejection. It was redirection, and it saved my soul. Number 3. They left because they couldn't leech anymore. Stop lying to yourself. They didn't leave because they stopped loving you. They left because they couldn't feed on you anymore. Let that burn a little. They weren't there because they valued you. They were there because your light was convenient, because your love was unconditional, because your energy had no boundaries. You thought it was a relationship, a friendship, a connection. What it really was a transaction. And the only currency they ever spent was your soul. You were the charger and they were the dead battery. The second you unplugged, they vanished, ghosted, shifted, changed. You're different now, they said. Damn right, you're different. You're no longer bleeding, just to make sure they're breathing. You see, energy vampires don't announce themselves. They come cloaked in affection, in "you're the only one who gets me," in trauma bonding, in long stories about how everyone else let them down, so you feel chosen for saving them. But the truth is, you weren't chosen to save them. You were targeted to sustain them. They knew you'd listen when no one else would. They knew you'd forgive what no one else should. They knew your heart would carry what their own couldn't handle. And they fed off that. Every compliment was a leash. Every sob story was a chain. And you kept calling it loyalty. But what happened when you started pulling back? When you stopped overextending? When you didn't pick up every call or explain every boundary? Suddenly, they didn't want to be around. Suddenly, they said you changed. Suddenly, they disappeared. Because now they can't drain you, and without access to your light, they lose relevance. And let's not pretend it was a clean break. Energy leeches don't just walk. They lash out, they smear, they twist the story. They call you selfish, cold, fake, disloyal. Because the most dangerous thing to them is your self-protection. The second you stop leaking light, they start throwing shade. Let me make this crystal clear. You didn't lose them. You cut their supply and their tantrum. It's proof they were never in your life to pour back, only to pull from. So let me ask you this. Were they really your friend, your partner, your ride or die? Or were they just addicted to your generosity, your softness, your inability to say no? Because when the giving stopped, so did the relationship. Now that your energy is protected, they're triggered. They don't know what to do without you to lean on, cry to, dump on. And the worst part for them, watching you thrive without them. You're glowing in places they said you'd never survive. You're healing in silence while they try to stir up noise. You're finally realizing that love without return is not love, it's labor, and the labor is over. You've graduated from being an emotional crutch. You've retired from unpaid therapy. You're done being the dumping ground for their drama, because now your energy has a gate. And guess what? They don't have the code anymore. You let them in because you were trying to help. That's who you are. That's what a chosen one does. But there comes a time when compassion without boundaries turns into self-betrayal. And the universe? It doesn't let its chosen ones stay betrayed forever. So it showed you who they really were. Not to hurt you, but to free you. Now you know. So stop mourning what you think you lost. You didn't lose love. You lost the illusion of connection. You didn't lose loyalty. You lost leeches. You didn't lose people. You lost parasites. And the way they left? That was confirmation, not confusion. They didn't walk away from love. They walked away from the inability to drain you anymore. Let them stay gone. Let them talk. Let them spiral. You're done bleeding. You're done fixing people who break you just to feel whole. You're done being food for those who refuse to feed themselves. This is your new era. The era where your light is no longer up for grabs. And those who only came to take. They don't belong in the next chapter. Let them starve. You're no longer on the menu. Number 4. The universe didn't abandon you. It guarded you. You kept asking why everyone disappeared, why they suddenly pulled away, why people who swore they'd never leave vanished like ghosts in daylight. You told yourself you must have done something wrong, that you pushed too hard, felt too much, said too little. You called it abandonment. But what if I told you it was insulation? See, you thought you were being left behind when in reality you were being surrounded, not by people, not by noise, but by something greater. The universe didn't leave you alone. It stepped in front of you. It pulled you back from things that were about to blow. It cut the cords before they turned into chains. What you called absence was actually protection. You've got it all twisted. They didn't walk because you were too intense. They walked because they couldn't survive the frequency you were about to level into. They didn't flinch at your flaws. They flinched at your force. Because deep down, they felt it. Something was backing you, and it scared them. They weren't fighting you. They were fighting the presence that rolls with you. And guess what? That presence doesn't play. The universe saw things you didn't, heard the conversations you weren't invited to, felt the jealousy you brushed off. It watched people study your shine with a smile on their face and envy in their spirit. You gave people the benefit of the doubt, but the universe, it gave you protection. So it acted, quietly, surgically, without warning. And yeah, it hurt, because it didn't ask you first. It didn't give you time to prepare. It just started pulling. People, places, energies, gone. And you thought you were being punished. But the truth is, the universe is on a strict timeline with chosen ones. It doesn't have time to babysit your attachments. When it's time to evolve, you evolve. Or get dragged, so it dragged you. Out of rooms where you were being tolerated. Out of conversations where you were being studied, not loved. Out of dynamics where your spirit was being fed on, not fed. And yeah, you cried. But in the tears was a rebirth, and in that quiet grief was a cosmic upgrade. Because listen, you're not just anyone, you're chosen. And when you're chosen, your life is not left to chance. It's mapped, protected, strategized by the very energy that built stars. You don't walk alone, you don't fight alone. So when the storm came, the universe didn't walk away. It became the shield that stood between you and the hit. You know what's wild? Some of those people you thought you needed, they were liabilities. Some of those relationships you were ready to die for, they were distractions. Some of those spaces you called home, they were traps dressed in nostalgia. The universe knew, and because it knows what's coming, it couldn't let them come with you. See, you thought you were walking through loss, but you were walking through lockdown. Your energy was being secured. Your purpose was being firewalled. Because where you're going, not everyone deserves the GPS coordinates. You're not being abandoned. You're being protected by silence. The silence of unseen movement. The silence of calculated warfare. Because make no mistake, there was a war happening. Not one you could see with your eyes, but one fought in frequencies, in dreams, in tension, in shadows. And the universe handled it without needing your permission. Now you look around, and the room is emptier. But guess what else? It's clearer. You're not second-guessing every word, every move. You're not pouring yourself out to be met with blank stares. You're no longer sitting at tables where you have to explain why you deserve a seat. You're free. That's what the protection was for, not just to block what could break you, but to free you from what was keeping you average. So next time you feel that sting of someone walking away, don't ask, why did they leave? Ask instead, what was the universe saving me from? Because believe this, when you are chosen, you are guarded. Not because you're fragile, but because you're dangerous to anything that moves against you. And the universe, it doesn't lose chosen ones. It locks them in and clears the path. Remember that next time it gets quiet. That silence isn't a void. It's your army moving in stealth. Number 5. You thought you were alone until you realized you were surrounded by power. So you really believed you were abandoned. You sat in that silence, buried in your own thoughts, and decided that just because no one was calling, texting, checking in, that you must not matter anymore. You thought isolation was rejection, that being alone meant forgotten. How small do you think the universe is? How quick are you to doubt your alignment the second it doesn't look like comfort? Let's get one thing straight. You weren't alone. You were being cleared. Your space was being emptied. Your spiritual table was being wiped down. The distractions were being evacuated, not because you weren't loved, but because what was about to enter needed room. And instead of recognizing that, you called it loneliness. You sat in a sacred, protected, divinely guarded space and had the audacity to feel abandoned. How dare you? How dare you think the universe would carry you this far just to drop you in the dark and forget your name? You're chosen. And chosen doesn't mean popular. It doesn't mean surrounded. It means set apart. You thought no one was around? Wrong. The universe was around. Power was around. Your ancestors, your spirit guides, your higher self. They were all there watching, waiting, building, blocking. But you were so used to codependency that the moment your phone stopped buzzing, you thought something was wrong. Let me break it down. That loneliness, it was sacred space. A vacuum the universe created to finally move, because it couldn't do what needed to be done with noise in your ears and dead energy in your bed. It couldn't align you while you were still entertaining the ones who dimmed you. It couldn't speak while your identity was wrapped up in being accepted by people who secretly envied you. So it cleared them out. And you sat there crying like it was a funeral when it was actually a rebirth. That wasn't absence. That was realignment. That was strategy. That was protection. The silence wasn't empty, it was full of force. Power was in the room, guidance was present, downloads were happening. But your need to be surrounded by humans made you blind to the presence of something so much greater. You know what's wild? The strongest spiritual growth always happens in solitude. Go look at the lives of every chosen leader, thinker, disruptor: Jesus, Malcolm, Mandela, Frida, Tupac, Maya Angelou, Nina Simone, David Goggins, Elon Musk. They all went through seasons where no one understood them, no one supported them, and they had to walk through fire with only their purpose as a compass. That's what you were in. But instead of digging deep, you were trying to go back. Back to comfort, back to people, back to places you outgrew. You were about to trade divine transformation for human validation. Again, how dare you? The universe will never compete with chaos. It will simply remove you from it. And when it does, it expects you to rise, not retreat. It expects you to recognize the silence as sacred. It expects you to feel the presence, even when you can't see the crowd. It expects you to know who you are, even when no one is clapping. Because here's the truth. You thought you were alone, but you were surrounded by power the whole time. You were never in the dark. You were in the forge, the fire, the laboratory, the sacred womb of transformation. The quiet wasn't punishment. It was preparation. And if you're really chosen, you better stop calling divine alignment abandonment. That mindset will keep you repeating cycles you are already rescued from. So next time you feel the room go empty, don't cry, don't chase, don't panic, just pause. And remember, power doesn't always arrive with applause. Sometimes it shows up in silence. Sometimes the most spiritual moment of your life is the one where nobody texts you back, because nobody should. That's when the real work begins. That's when you go inward. That's when you remember, you're never alone. You're just finally out of reach. And that is power. Number 6. The silence was the strategy. You called it a breakdown. You thought life had just gone mute, that people vanished, that opportunities dried up, that everything good in your life just suddenly stopped. But let's stop pretending you don't know what really happened. The silence, that wasn't the universe ignoring you. That was the universe finally getting your full attention. Everything got quiet for a reason. The noise had to die because the lie was too loud. You couldn't hear the truth while you were surrounded by distractions dressed as support. You couldn't feel the pull of your real path when your head was full of voices that didn't even belong to you. So the universe did what it always does when you've been listening to the wrong people for too long. It shut the whole thing down. It stripped the stage, cut the lights, cleared the audience. And there you were, alone, confused, angry, sitting in a silence so loud it echoed in your bones. And still, you didn't get it. You called it betrayal. You called it failure. You started asking, why is this happening to me? When the real question was, what is this trying to reveal to me? Let me say it without sugar. The silence was the strategy. The silence wasn't a void, it was a mirror, and you weren't ready for what it had to show you. Because what happens in the silence? The masks fall off, the fake friends fade out, the obligations disappear. You stop being everyone else's version of yourself and start meeting the version that's been buried under noise, people-pleasing, and performance. And guess what? That version of you, they don't need saving. They need remembering. The silence was never a curse. It was an operation, a stripping away, a divine setup that left no room for confusion. Because without the noise, there was only one voice left, yours. You finally heard your thoughts roar. You sat with the truth you kept ignoring. You felt the weight of the things you tolerated for too long. That's when the real work began. The silence wasn't there to break you. It was there to build you without interruptions. No cheering crowd, no emotional crutches, no fake "I got yous." Just you and the truth. And for the first time, you heard what the universe had been screaming this whole time. You're not broken, you're becoming. But to become, I had to remove everything you were hiding inside of. Yeah, it hurt. That's how you know it was working. Transformation doesn't happen through comfort. It happens in the silent tension of full exposure. That's where the lies die. That's where the illusions get ripped apart. That's where the ego burns and the soul rises. Let's be clear, the universe didn't go quiet to abandon you. It went quiet to speak to you directly, to bypass the noise, to bring you back to alignment. Because you forgot who you were. You forgot what you came here to do. You forgot the weight you carry. And the silence. That was your reintroduction to your own power. So now that you know, stop wishing it was louder again. The people who left, let them stay gone. The energy that drained you, let it stay cut off. The noise that numbed you, let it stay silent. Because now you can finally hear what matters. Your purpose, your instinct, your truth. Your call. This is the voice you rise with. This is the voice that changes your life. And those who once had control over your frequency, they can't reach you anymore, because you stopped living in the chaos and started listening in the calm. You've evolved past external noise. You've ascended into divine communication. You've entered the realm where silence isn't empty. It's intelligent, strategic, loaded. Now you know. The silence wasn't the punishment. It was the signal. And the signal was always clear. Listen now or break later. And since you listened, you're ready for war. You're ready for alignment. You're ready for everything they said you couldn't become. Because now you've heard it for yourself. Number 7, they'll regret the exit. You'll thank the isolation. You were begging them to stay, weren't you? Trying to hold it together, trying to explain yourself, dimming your truth just to keep the peace, bending until you nearly snapped, thinking if you could just love harder, be more patient, fix yourself faster, they'd stay. But they didn't. They left, and for a while, you called it your fault. You told yourself maybe you were too complicated, too emotional, too broken. You believed that lie long enough for it to nearly bury you. But let me say this with no fluff. They'll regret the exit, and you'll end up thanking the isolation. Because it was only in that silence that your light got undiluted. Only in that separation that you stopped shape-shifting to make them comfortable. Only in that cold stillness that you finally felt the heat of your own power. They didn't walk away because you were too much. They walked away because they could feel you becoming what they'd never be able to control again. See, they thought leaving would break you. They thought their absence would leave you crawling back, looking for validation. They thought they were the sun in your sky. But now, from the outside looking in, they're realizing you were never the one orbiting them. You were the damn star. And now that the noise is gone, look at you. Unapologetic, unattached, unshakable. You stopped chasing and started glowing. You stopped explaining and started aligning. You stopped holding space for people who would have watched you drown if it meant they stayed afloat. That version of you, the one they walked out on, they could never touch the version you are now. You're not bitter. You're not even angry. You're evolved. You see it clearly. Their exit wasn't your destruction. It was your release. Let me ask you something. Did you really need them? Or did you just forget how powerful you are when you're not carrying dead weight? You thought the isolation was a curse, but now you know it was sacred ground. That loneliness you cried through. It carved out space for clarity, that quiet that made you question everything. It tuned your ears to hear only truth. And the space they left behind, the universe filled it with fire. And now they're watching, silently, from the sidelines, pretending they don't miss your energy, pretending they're unbothered while stalking your glow. Let them watch. This is the consequence of underestimating someone chosen. They thought you were just another empath, another helper, another healer they could drain and discard. But when the universe backs you, when you get aligned for real, you stop being a source they can tap into. You become a force they can't touch. Let me say it louder for your old wounds. Their exit was never your loss. It was their expiration. They were never built to handle the version of you that was coming. They were never qualified to walk through your breakthrough. You were begging for them to stay in a chapter they were meant to exit. But now that you're the author of your story again, you see it. They never had the range to stay for the plot twist. And the elevation, it doesn't stop. Every time you level up, their regret grows louder. Not because you're being petty, not because you're trying to prove a point, but because you finally stopped proving yourself to people who were committed to misunderstanding your worth. You didn't lose people. You lost limitations. You didn't lose love. You lost leeches. You didn't lose loyalty. You lost liabilities. So stop mourning them. Start thanking the silence. Start honoring the solitude. Start owning the elevation. Because one day, if not already, they'll say, "I should have stayed." And your only answer will be silence. Because by then, your light will be so far above them, they'll need to squint just to feel your shadow. Number 8. Your healing scared them more than your pain ever did. Let's make one thing painfully clear. They were never afraid of your brokenness. They were afraid of your healing. See, you in pain was easy to manage. You in pain needed them. You questioned yourself. You apologized too much. You second-guessed your worth. You played small to make them feel big. You made their egos feel safe. You were predictable. You were pliable. But the moment you started healing, the moment you got quiet, started setting boundaries, stopped asking for permission to exist, that's when everything changed. That's when they got uncomfortable. That's when they called you cold. That's when they started twisting the narrative, painting your growth as betrayal. Why? Because healed, you wasn't dependent anymore. And they were never invested in your healing. They were invested in your control. Let's not romanticize what happened. They didn't grow apart from you. They fell off because they couldn't control the version of you that no longer needed saving. Your power revealed their weakness. Your clarity exposed their manipulation. And your emotional independence. It removed the leash. You weren't healing for revenge. You were healing to breathe. But they took your peace personally because they depended on your chaos to keep their own dysfunction from being exposed. You were never the villain. You just stopped being the victim. And that scared the hell out of them, because when you were hurting, they had a role: the fixer, the rescuer, the superior. But once you got up on your own, once you realized you didn't need saving, you just needed space, you shattered their illusion of power. Let me say this loud. Your healing restructured the entire dynamic. It took you off your knees and put you on your throne. And they couldn't handle the shift. People don't leave because you healed. They leave because your healing made their control obsolete. They started calling you different, didn't they? Distant, fake, changed. Yeah, you did change. You stopped bleeding for people who would have never even offered you a bandage. You stopped oversharing your brokenness with people who secretly enjoyed it. You stopped asking for advice from people who couldn't handle you, outgrowing them. And now you're the bad guy in their story. But that's fine, because they don't write your story anymore. You do. So let them talk. Let them play the victim. Let them call your glow arrogance. It's not your job to make yourself digestible for people who only loved you when you were starving. You don't owe softness to the ones who fed on your weakness. Your healing was a threat because it exposed them. It exposed how they needed you broken to feel important. It exposed how they called you strong just so you'd carry their mess. It exposed how they were only loyal to your lower self because your higher self doesn't need them at all. And that realization, that's what made them run. Not because you were wrong, but because you were right about everything. So no, they didn't walk away because you were ungrateful. They walked away because you were unrecognizable without the chains. And you know what? Good. Let them go. Let them choke on the silence they swore you couldn't survive. Let them scroll through your elevation and pretend they're unbothered. Let them sit in rooms they once ruled in your absence and realize the energy never came from the room. It came from you. Because you in pain was easy to manipulate. You in power? That's a version of you they never deserved to meet. Let your healing speak for itself. Let your peace be the proof. Let your joy be the backlash. And the next time someone walks away because you got healthy, don't chase them. Thank them. They were only ever loyal to your wounds. And you're finally whole now. Number 9. Every exit was an energetic upgrade. Stop mourning people the universe removed like expired code. Every person who walked out wasn't just leaving, they were being cleared, energetically, spiritually, strategically. You didn't just lose company, you lost chaos. You lost noise. You lost the very weight that was holding your frequency hostage. Their exit wasn't rejection, it was realignment. You didn't see it at first because you were still attached to the form, the face, the history. But the universe doesn't care about your emotional attachments. It cares about your assignment. And when energy isn't matching, it moves people out, ruthlessly if it has to. Every closed door created room for elevation. Every goodbye opened a gateway to something higher. And now that you've stopped chasing what left, look at what's entering. Peace, clarity, power, purpose. They weren't part of your future. They were blocking it. And the second they were gone, you leveled up. So stop calling it loss. It was an energetic upgrade. And now, everything that's truly meant for you can finally find you without interference. Thank the exit and walk forward, lighter, clearer, unstoppable. Number 10. You're not broken. You're becoming rare. Stop saying you're broken. That word doesn't belong to you anymore. You're not shattered, you're shedding. You're not lost, you're being set apart. You've mistaken evolution for dysfunction, and that ends now. You've been looking at your reflection through the eyes of people who never had the capacity to understand your light. Of course, they made you feel like something was wrong with you. That's what happens when you're rare in a room full of replicas. You're not being left behind. You're being protected, preserved, and positioned. The things that used to fit are now falling off because you're outgrowing them. That's not failure. It's a signal of rarity, of value, of alignment. So yes, it's lonely, and yes, it's confusing. But don't you dare confuse your ascension with abandonment. You're walking a path that was never meant to be crowded. Rarity isn't found in comfort zones. It's forged in isolation. You're not broken. You're becoming undeniable. You're becoming unreachable to anything not built for your frequency. Let the world think you're changing. You are. And that change, it's not the fall. It's the unfolding. Number 11. Solitude built the warrior the world wasn't ready for. You were forged in silence, like a blade pulled from fire, shaped in heat, hardened by pressure, and sharpened in the dark. No audience, no applause, just the hiss of pain meeting purpose. While they thought you were breaking, the universe was building. While they were counting you out, the fire was making you lethal. Solitude wasn't your weakness, it was your weapon. It stripped you of distractions, burned off false attachments, and pressed you into your highest form. Warriors aren't built in comfort. They're born in isolation, far from noise, where the only voice is the one inside saying, "Keep going." Every quiet night, every unanswered call, every room you sat in, wondering why no one stayed, that was the training ground. That's where your endurance was born, your discernment, your edge. The world wasn't ready for what you were becoming. That's why you were hidden. That's why you walked alone. The universe didn't forget you. It was refining you. So walk with your head high, not because they finally see you, but because you survived what they couldn't. You don't need validation. You were forged for impact, and now your silence carries more weight than their words ever will. Number 12. Now they want access, but the universe closed the gate. Funny, isn't it? The same ones who left you in the dark are suddenly drawn to your light now that it's undeniable. They ghosted you when you were breaking, disappeared when you needed backup, stayed silent when your name was being dragged, and now they're circling back, trying to smile their way through doors that no longer exist. But let's be clear, the universe was watching the whole time. It saw who clapped when you stumbled. It saw who stayed quiet when you cried. It saw who only loved you when you were easy to use. And now that you're rising, glowing, protected and chosen, they're trying to re-enter a reality they once walked out of, like you were disposable. But the gate is closed. Not by your ego, not by revenge, by divine order. The universe doesn't forget. It doesn't make room for repeat offenders. It elevates the chosen and locks down access to protect the assignment. You're not cold. You're covered. You're not heartless. You're healed. You're not holding a grudge. You're honoring the gate the universe closed for a reason. Let them watch. Access denied. That season's over, and so are they.